host Javon Turner back with another live. Today we'll have an interesting live for you guys. I know you've been anticipating this. We have the Reggae Boyz versus the USA in Austria, international friendly, a very important game, as we have the upcoming Gold Cup and the upcoming World Cup qualifiers around. And today we're going to be joined with Coach Okevie Lambert, Simon Preston, and hopefully Alexis Nunes. She's been busy, so we'll see if she can get on. But I'm going to invite these persons right now, and just drop your comments down below as we wait. Hello,
Evening,
Simon.
evening.
Good
How are
night.
you doing?
I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
doing well, thanks. All is well?
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you here on our show, Football in 90, as we look forward to this interesting matchup of USA versus Jamaica.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Nice. I'm just here. I'm waiting to add Coach Okevie Lambert and Alexis Nunes. So just bear with me.
No problem.
Okay, so I've sent out the request. Simon, just share a brief synopsis of who you are to the Football in 90 the Football in 90 family.
Well, I'm a sports presenter for Television Jamaica. We cover television, radio, and online content, and I've been at that company from 27 real. I've been in the industry from 20 analyst and commentating. So I guess that's where everything sort of started for me, where that was concerned. And 11 years later, here I am today. So I guess it's surrounding our own commentary, analysis,
Yes.
presenting, and also reporting. So those are my elements together.
Yes, Simon, and I've been familiar with you. I just wanted you to give us synopsis of who you are. I've been following your journey, on YouTube, Reggae Boyz commentary and everything. And yeah, very interesting. But let's kick it off. We have the United States versus Jamaica. This is a really interesting one, based on all that's going on with both teams. Jamaica has switched from the core group in this matchup to trying out some new players and some England-based players. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. A lot of people are anticipating this. Can you give us your take on what do you think about just trying out these new players as compared to a core group that has represented us in the recent times?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. As we know, it's been 3 months essentially, well, 4 months now with the Saudi Arabia game back in November. So, we've been quite patient for this opportunity to see the team back into action. So, as it relates to the squad, I still think that it's a bit lopsided in
Yeah.
terms of being defensively heavy. I'm grateful to see new faces in the squad in that aspect. So there's more depth in the central defense. As we know, when it comes to opportunities in qualifying, defenders are targeted the most with yellow cards and stuff like that. So it's great for us so that we have that sort of depth moving forward. But it's a game that I'm looking forward to. And for me, the result is not the priority. It's more so about ensuring that, these players either impress or not ahead of the Gold Cup and the qualifiers.
That's so true. Joining us here, we have Coach Okevie Lambert, who have just joined us. Coach Okevie, I've been here asking Simon, what did he think about just a little switch off from the core players who have represented us, in the past few games, compared to the England-based players who have came in and just our local guys who play in the Premier League. Just give us your take on what do you think about just the switch for this game.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one. These players, they are new. I can't imagine what going on through the coach's mind right now. Because preparation is key, and as coaches, we like to prepare for games, especially like of this magnitude. But quality is within the team, and I expect us to go out there and show our qualities. Because even our local players, they haven't played football for a while, but as I said, quality. And game management is going to be crucial for us.
And that is so true, that is so true. Yeah, I just want to share that, we have some of our guys over there in Austria, Kevon Lambert a part of. I mean, Kevon Isaac a part of our family at football in 90. And yeah, I just want to give a brief roundup of the U.S. squad. With Greg Berhalter, he has drawn for, I would say, a young team to represent and an exciting team. Most of his guys, over in Europe, Des Barcelona, Gio Reyna, and all these guys. I've been scouting them. I've been following their social media and their new synapses, and I've seen the starting lineup that they could go for. I'm about to share this, and then I'll ask you guys, what are your starting lineups for Jamaica? And so in goal, we have Stefan. He has taken back from the Man City. He's been like the backup, but that doesn't really count in football. A player is a player. So we have Des over on the left back. We have Miyazaga, we have Brooks, and we have Robinson on the right back. And they're gonna play a central defensive mid with Kellen Acosta. The young player was brought up in the FC Dallas system, made his trade in Colorado and still in the MLS. And we have Musa as another midfielder in front of Acosta. We have Leggett, we have Jurin in front of those two, and Pulisic and Sargent, who we know carried their trade in Chelsea and in the Bundesliga alike. So guys, I just want to ask your views on the starting lineup for the US. Then I'll get into your starting lineup for Jamaica.
Yeah, based on the team that you made mention of, it's quality in all different departments. I think that is the 11 that most likely will take the field. There's been some combinations in training that they've utilized Coach Berhalter. Perhaps the only tweak you might see is Reina or Gioacchini going from the start, but other than that, the back four, the midfield, that pretty much is the same. There might just a bit more flexibility in terms of the attacking options, but it's a team that is young, hungry, tenacious, and just want to impress. So, they're going to be coming into this game with a lot of high expectations because they know that their spot isn't guaranteed, even for the Gold Cup. So, you can expect, exuberance from the Americans tomorrow.
That is right. Coach Lambert?
Well, I think Simon has given us a wide snap of what we could see tomorrow. And I am totally on point with him. When I look at the US team, Javon, it's quality right across the park. You're looking at players who are playing at top level teams. When you look at, you see players at Barcelona, players at Chelsea, and right across the platform there. And in general, you will have fans wondering, wow, look at these names, look at these caliber teams that these players represent. But like I said earlier, our players have qualities as well, and it's just for them to go there and represent well. I would have had the opportunity to speak with a few of them. I think that we are ready based on the feedback that I would have got. But this is it, and as I said, I'm really happy to be talking about our Reggae Boyz. I'm really proud of them, to step forward and to play against a team like the US, who has top quality players as well. So let's see what will happen tomorrow.
Yes, well done. Guys, can you share your starting lineup for Jamaica that you think will take the field tomorrow?
All right, Coach Lambert can go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with a 4-3-3, Javon. I'm going with JD White to go. I know he's a young talent, and Paul would have been within the core for a while. I'm going to Adrian Mariappa, Michael Hector, Amar Bell, Leon Moore, Casey Palmer, Ricardo Morris, and Omar Owens, Andre Gray.
About that, JT is having some technical difficulties, so I have to jump on Football in 90 to continue the chat with Simon Preston. We should have had Alexis Nunes, but she won't be able to join us tonight. So we're just going to add Simon back to the live, and then we get going from there.
I'm here.
Yeah, man, Simon. JT is having some technical difficulties with his wife. So we got to go until he jumps.
Yeah.
We were talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said we're discussing about the 11. I said, hopefully, his Wi-Fi gets sorted out soon. But yeah, we're discussing the 11 and your expectations and everything like that from the unit, because clearly there's quality in this team, so they certainly have the ability to go out there and create some chances.
Simon, I mentioned earlier that Coach Tapa has the experience, when it comes to these games. What are your thoughts on him as a coach?
You're right in the sense of the big games. We see a Jamaica team that is competitive. We don't see us sit down or surrender. Regardless of the occasion. So I personally feel that when you look at his time in the Gold Cup, the Caribbean Cup, the friendlies that he's played against high quality oppositions, he's never backed down from any challenge. So I don't see tomorrow as any different at all, and bearing in mind, his record right now in terms of win percentage and his win-loss draw column, he's one of the three most successful coaches that we have, behind Wendell Downswell and also John Barnes as well. So his record speaks for itself, although at the end of the day, I'm not pleased with the quality that we've been seeing, but nobody is going to remember how you play unless you win. And winning is how you impress people. When we look back at this game 10 years from now, what are we going to remember? We're going to remember the results. We're not going to say, boy, after 85 minutes, Jamaica looked like this. We're going to say Jamaica won 1-0. That's how we're going to look at things from that perspective.
Hey, Javon, it's good to have you back, man.
Yeah, sorry about that. We're experiencing technical difficulties.
It's something these days. It's the reason why we do have Alexis with us tonight, guys. She's having some difficulties with her Wi-Fi, but she'll probably join us at some point. Over to you, JT. Over to you. Simon would have given.
Yes. Yeah, I had asked before, or I don't know if you guys have went over that already. Your starting 11, for our national team.
Yeah, we did. But you heard mine, but you didn't heard Simon. So.
Okay. I would hope that we would have Mariappa in the team, as our captain from both of you guys, because he's probably one of the most experienced players we have out there right now in Austria, He's been through a lot of the different groups of players, and has a level-headed mind, to carry the national team to win at whatever cost, But yeah, as you guys mentioned, I would like to share, a public poll that I did throughout the week, on whether our fans, our Jamaican people, will back this team and back our guys. And apparently, yes, these guys will back the guys, even though, we haven't seen some of these players in our colors. So our public poll stated that 66% of our people chose Jamaica to win, and 9% chose US, and 25% chose a draw. So my predictions are basically, I think that the US on paper, with the chemistry that they have, will look to be the better team. But if you know football and the ball is round, and that these new players that come in, everybody wants to show that they belong. Everybody wants to show that they have what it takes to represent this country. And I think that with the new players, it's gonna disrupt the rhythm of the United States. So I think it will be an interesting game, and I would go for a draw. I think I'll go for a draw, whether 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, whatever. I think I'd go for a draw. Let me know what you guys think about this matchup, based on man to man or on the field situation.
Go ahead, coach.
Well, yeah, JT, thanks for that question. That's a very good question. When you look at the core that is not available for Jamaica now, you wonder what's happening, but a lot of persons are wondering if it is the right moment to put these players in in, and to play. And this is just my response to that question. We have tons of games coming up, and Simon knows this as well. We need numbers. When you look at the talent that is available right now within the team, you see top quality names. And one of the players I'm looking forward to seeing out there against US's Javon. The boy has quality. So he's really good. I had an opportunity to speak with head coach that Duki, who would have coached him at Mount Pleasant Academy. And the gaffer had wonderful praise for the player's technical ability and the way how he controlled, the central, position on the field. And it is crucial. These are crucial positions. So I'm going for a draw, Simon. I'm going for a one-one, draw. But I see us putting a few surprises in there, probably in the first 25 minutes, we have been, we probably press them a little bit. But, Simon mentioned earlier, how do we approach them? It's crucial. I don't think we can go all out and approach this team, but we have to be well aware, and I'm sure Coach Stopper would have mentioned some of these things to the team, Hey, guys, we have not been paid for a while. We have to be honest. And good coaches are always honest with their players, and it is crucial to be honest, guys. And I expect our players to go there and show heart and determination. We are playing against some top quality. Who would want to go there and show give their all?
Yeah, in terms of the prediction that you were asking earlier, I said earlier in the week, 1-1 draw. I'm still going to stick with it. I don't think I'm going to change it between now and tomorrow morning. But based on my lineup, I've gone with 4-2-3-1. So there are numbers at the back, not only in terms of quantity, but quality as well. A lot of size as well. Players 6 feet 4 inches tall. So physically, I think we'll match up quite well to the Americans. It's how we deal with the continuous pressure that they'll be able to pile onto us, because I do expect them to have a pretty fast start. So it's being able to ensure that we can break up their play and, be able to hit them on the counter and send the likes of Gray and Palmer, Willis and Lowe free to be able to get some opportunities of our own, because like I was saying earlier, to Coach Lambert, we've only had 2 training sessions together, while this American team has been together even from the latter part of last year, and they're starting to find a bit of rhythm as well together. So that's why I think, with the more time that they have together, they'll be able to put a more of a solid display together. While with us, although some of our championship players might have played together, there's still some new faces to the squad that they're not new to as yet. And even getting to know your goalkeeper as well is something that they'll have to be familiar quite well with. So that's why I'd say I'm going to go with a 1-1. But my priority for this game is not necessarily the result, but it's more so for the likes of the Pinnock, the likes of Tilt, Amari Bell, Casey Palmer to stamp their authority, so that by the time the Gold Cup comes around, it's a headache for Coach Whitmore to pick the 23-man squad. Let him have sleepless nights thinking about the squad for the qualifiers, so that it can be difficult for the players and not be easy. I like competition. I want players on their toes to keep them fit and sharp and to be able to be ready for the next occasion. So that's exactly what we want as a unit.
Well said, Simon. Well said, well said. And we gotta, even though we don't have the chemistry like the United States, but we have quality players, representing us. The likes of Andre Gray, a prolific striker. So that's why I think it will be an interesting matchup. Even though we have a let's say a seasoned U.S. team versus a fresh Jamaican team. So yes, I really do believe we will have a fighting chance in this. I'm moving on to Coach Lambert. Any suggestions, about this matchup?
Well, we have to be aware, of what is happening with our Reggae Boyz. The media attention going into this game. I'm sure the players, especially our local players, will be wondering, and also the fans as well will be putting that pressure as well. And pressure is good, but a lot of players can't handle pressure. But I hope this type of pressure our players will be able to handle. But for our local players, who, as I mentioned earlier, who haven't been playing football for a while, and but they have been training. I know some have been training on their own. So it is true, guys. I believe we are into something great, exciting. I can't wait. But that's just my bit for now. But
Yeah.
I am excited. I'm sure Simon is excited as well. He mentioned what would be crucial or of more importance, which is for some of these players to get minutes under their belt, to show top of that, hey, I am here for a starting berth. And this is what we need, competition for places, which is crucial to the success of any team, because we don't want our players to be comfortable. We want our players to know that they are players challenging for position. So they continue to be consistent. And consistency is going to be key for us going into these World Cup games and also the World Cup qualifiers. We must be consistent at this moment.
Yes, well said. You raised some valid points. And that will bring me into my next question, which is what do you think will happen, to the team as it regards to like picking a squad for the next games, if this team tomorrow proves that, and some of these guys shows exceptional talent and the mindset and the passion for the team, what will be, the way forward now for Jamaica? Our core players who, have represented us and these guys that have come in and the ones who are going to show that, they belong. What do you guys think will be the next step forward? Starting with you, Simon.
If a handful of these players go out there and impress Coach Whitmore, I don't see any reason why you would leave them out heading into the Gold Cup and the qualifiers. If they've made a good impression, the only thing that would leave them out is injury or a scenario where they have, you know, bad communication with the coaching staff, which I don't expect, especially with new faces in the squad. Only injury I would see. So that's why I would say for the new defenders in the squad and how, the midfielders like Palmer would link up with Willis and company, how they'd be able to mesh in the squad and put the likes of Daniel Johnson, Rabel Morrison, who we've seen introduced in the squad already, on their toes. So if they have a good impression, I don't think you can leave them out for the Gold Cup. But if it's a mediocre, lukewarm performance, then it really depends on how they're doing with their club between now and the end of the season, which is still another dozen games to go. So it really is a fickle situation, and it's an interchangeable sort of environment. We know international football works. At your club you can be on a hot, rich form, and you can be lukewarm at the end of the season. So it's really down to the player to ensure that consistency is there. And who knows, by the time the Gold Cup come around, we might be talking another name that should be, partnering Kemar Roof up top. So it really comes down to the player and how much he wants it to get into the national program.
Well said, well said. We see Siobhan Willis, Siobhan Willis in the live right now. I guess the guys are watching, so good luck to you guys. Coach Lambert, what do you think?
Well, when Simon has said it, this is true. You don't want a better game, guys. This against the US. This is a game for players who think that, especially for our new players, we need them to show their qualities and to get out there. And this is the best game for that. Quality, as I'm sticking to that word, quality. You know why I choose quality to use quality tonight, Simon and Javon? It is because these players have not been playing with each other for a while. These are fresh faces. But at the end of the day, quality for me is always of utmost importance. Once you guys go there and show the quality, then I believe it will not be that much of a burden where expectation is concerned, if you get me. Well, when you mentioned Shivani, and as I said, that youngster is really good. He's a really good talent, really good professional as well. And you expect our local players to get the new players, up to speed in terms of our history, because these players wouldn't know our history up to this point in terms of, what the past would have been. But it's up to these players to say, hey, we're going up against the US, it means a lot to us. It means a lot to our fans back at home. We need to get this result, not even the result, but we need to put on a performance to show that, hey, we are here to come to the challenge. And pretty much with what I'm seeing with this team, I'm really proud. As I said, I'm really proud of the players who made the trip, especially our local players. It's not going to be easy for them, but it comes down to quality, like I said, guys. So, really optimistic about tomorrow. And I just
Yeah, I'm just hoping that we are analyzing the footage of the Americans and looking at their strengths and weaknesses in order to get at them, because they're unbeaten in 7 games. They haven't lost since, losing to Canada in the Nations League. And I think what Canada did is something that we can do, because the Canadians, just like us, have physicality on our side and pace. And, how they scored against the Americans was a cross into the box and beating Zach Steffen at his near post, which, as we know, he doesn't defend quite well. So if we can just take bits of what other teams have done against the Americans, I think that there's an avenue for us to really exploit, and something that Mexico did at in the Gold Cup final in 2019, or Canada did as well, was clogging the middle. Canada had 5 persons in the midfield, Mexico had 5 as well. So, if we can find a way where, we ensure that it's difficult for the Americans to go through us in the middle, then I think that there's a genuine opportunity for our results. So hopefully we can be able to analyze exactly what the Americans did wrong and be able to exploit those weaknesses.
Well said, Simon. And as you all know, history, as it pertains to this rivalry, is not really on our side, but recent history, I would say, is 50-50 for the Jamaicans and US alike. We played like 28 games, in between US, Jamaica, US, or I think our first win came in like 2012, and from there we have been a strong matchup with the United States, with our three of our wins that came in the recent years, so I think it will be an interesting matchup. I know the United States always, they always look at us as the underdog, but sometimes it's good to be the underdog. They never see us coming. So I really think tomorrow will be interesting build-up. It will be an interesting build-up into this game, And with that said, I want to speak on, our local players who got the chance, to play in Austria, and as football in Jamaica is been on a pause right now, so I think it will be an interesting opportunity, and it will raise the moral of all the players, who are not playing right now, to see that, hey, you can still, have a career out of this. And amazing, man. It's amazing to see all these players coming together, local base, or players who will play overseas, the England-based players coming in. So it's a really interesting matchup,
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, you said it, Javon. This will be our 28th outing against the US team. There's been a little bit of rivalry. You said 50-50. I really agree with the 50-50. As I said, these players will be looking towards playing against top quality players, like I mentioned, represent the team across Europe, FC Barcelona, the likes of Chelsea, Manchester City.
Sure.
Our players should relish this opportunity, and it's a moment for them to go there and stand their class, because scouts will be watching, teams will be watching. So it's not just for playing or making the team going to Gold Cup, but it's more of a holistic development for our players, especially our local players who would want to use this opportunity to impress. And it's just for them down to the basic understanding of football, the build-up phase, the consolidation phase, which I mentioned earlier, is crucial to us. And it is just for players to just demand, go out there and play hard with heart and determination, and to be consistent, with the positive things, which is to, keep possession, not to give away the ball easily. These are some of the aspects that we are going to have to take in consideration going into the game tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a challenge, and we will see the players who are up to the challenge, going forward.
Yes, well said, Coach Lambert. Simon, any of your expertise on this, as we have local players in the mix who are looking to shine,
Well, I think, Shavon Willis, he went on that trip to Saudi Arabia as well. So, it's great to see him on back-to-back trips, post-pandemic. So it's great to see him back in the fold. I'm happy to also see Luca Levy getting his first opportunity at the senior level, first call up, he was at the under-20 level in 2015. Tapa has spoken about his ability and so on. Even though he's not at his best right now in terms of form and has been inactive for quite some time, I still believe a call up for his is deserved. I was a bit surprised and eye-opened in terms of the number of local players that actually are making the trip to to Austria, especially bearing in mind we haven't had to be able to kick off a ball since. But I do expect a couple of them to feature, even if it means from on the bench. But in terms of those that might start, certainly a goalkeeper, either Jadine White or Shavin Sean Paul and Shavani Willis. Those are the two that I expect to start, and Ricardo Morris at some point to feature in the encounter. So those are the three in particular that I do expect to get some minutes. Jabari Hilton's call-up was a surprise for me, but in terms of the overall, local core that has been invited, the sky's the limit. There's going to be millions of eyes on them tomorrow, so you never know who's going to be watching from which division across the globe, in Eastern Europe, in different continents across the globe. Everybody's going to be watching. It's a massive game, even though you're going to have European World Cup qualifiers, etc. It's still going to be a fixture game on everybody's plate, and it's going to be on different broadcast nations all across the globe. So there will be eyes, and people will be able to see, and scouts are already going to be tuning in to watch this game. So it's for them now to put their best foot forward to be able to earn and open up opportunities for themselves club-wise.
Well said, well said. Coach Lambert, over to you.
JT and Simon, we can talk about the aspects of going into this game, and we know what our players can give us. We would have, and especially Simon, who I believe would have been following these overseas-based players who have joined us now really well. And I was just looking at Liam Moore, and with his experience coming into this Jamaica team, it's going to be crucial for us. I don't want us to really pay too much attention and say, hey, the Americans, they are quality players, but we have quality players as well. And as I mentioned, Liam Moore, when you play with these players, and for generally our young players here back in Jamaica, I had the opportunity to speak with a few earlier today, and getting their expectation of the game tomorrow. They weren't focusing on the result. What they were focusing mostly is on our players go there and represent. Some of them wanted to see the likes of David and Lord, the Terry, and he. They're big fans of those. You expect those from the younger players here in Jamaica. But when you look at the level of where they're looking at this game at, it's amazing. They're not focusing much on the result, but more of a team performance. The players go there and represent themselves well. And that is the expectation that we should stick at, not to put a lot of pressure on our players. I mentioned that pressure is good, but, we don't want to put that pressure. Say we need to go there and get the result, or, to go there and put on a 5-star performance. We just need our players to go there and represent themselves well. And that is what I'm looking forward to, for our players to go there and represent well. And I hope our local players, who I said have the history, of going, what the national teams are about, would sit with these players and you are new, but we have a target, we have an objective, and we need to go there and show our cards and work as a team. My favorite quote, teamwork makes the dream work. So let's see what happens tomorrow.
Well said. Well said. And as you said, we don't want to put pressure on our players, but I would like to go. Let's say Jamaica wins 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-2. I think this will put a stamp in the CONCACAF, to say, hey, look, we have a very new lineup of players, and we beat the USA, who have this good chemistry and these big names and all. I think this will put a stamp, and this will show the United States that, hey, Jamaica is coming for every CONCACAF team out there now. With our recent, I would say achievements of staying in the top 50, I think, in the top 50 countries, in the world. I think if we win tomorrow, I think this will bring us down more on the table, to go closer to number one. But yeah, I think this overall will definitely be an interesting matchup, as I said before, and winning tomorrow will mean so much to the Jamaican people, and so much to the team, and this will push other players, to see that, hey, you got to fight for these positions, So yeah, that's basically my take on everything as it pertains to Jamaica, USA, Any thoughts, guys?
Well, JT, when I'm just trying to, reflect on the team, especially the new players coming in, the likes of Casey Palm. When you look at these players, they are coming from start with all due respect to our local players, they're playing a more high level of football, and they will too come in with a knowledge of the game that I expect them to share with our players, and that will be crucial as well. You know, they're probably at a higher level than our local players who have made the team, but at the end of the day, chemistry and fitness and all these things that we can talk about daily about football is crucial. But once a team go there with heart and determination and the right work ethic and positive mindset, anything is possible. As I said, I don't want to put the pressure of winning this game, but it wouldn't surprise me if we go there and win this game, because we have players who have potential, quality. They are top professionals. I spoke with JD before the trip, and non-stop. You can see how much it means to represent the national team, and I'm sure that's the vibe right across. To represent the national team. It's probably one of the best feelings in the world. You see the likes of Damien Lowe mentioning that to represent your national team. It is one of the best feelings ever. So it is just for our players to go out there and put on the ball on the pitch, and you know it will end already. I think I'm going to be really proud and with the performance. As I said, not too much focus on the result, but an individual and collective, brilliance of our players go out there and do their best.
Well said, Mr. Lambert. Over to you, Simon.
Yeah, what coach said, about the mentality is very important, because the Reggae Boyz has been in situations where we arrive a day before a game and 2 days before a game and still been able to, get a result. When we went to the Azteca, we arrived on a Tuesday evening, had one training session, and we held Mexico to a 0-0 draw. When we beat world number 3 Chile in 2016, we had 2 training sessions and we defeated them 2-1. So we've shown that despite a lack of time together and new faces coming together, that we're still capable of getting results, because the quality is certainly there. And there's a good vibes and togetherness, compared to where we were a decade ago, to be honest with you, where you had one side you would have UK-born players sit together and have meals together, and Jamaican-born players at one side. Now there's a unity, a togetherness, and it's different compared to a previous generation. So that's why there's a bit more optimism right now compared to the previous generation of players, and it's something that we should be excited about and looking forward to it. And I can imagine for all 3 million Jamaicans, it's going to be a game that everybody is going to be glued to their television sets tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it, just like everybody else, and we keep a close eye on the new faces to the squad and what they will be able to bring, and if they'll be able to have an impact that will say, okay, you're cemented in our team long term.
Nice, well said. And as you mentioned, one time, different set of players, would eat one side and eat one side. And based on the videos that I've watched that the JFF have been posting, and with Michael Hector, we'll say England-based baller who has been in the team for a while now, I realized his video was different. He has said, we just out there to have fun and, chill with the guys and see what happens tomorrow. So I think it has been planted in our system now that all the players, they're like a glue, I think even with Robert Marson on Rio Ferdinand's podcast, when he had shared the likes of shed light on our young players, there's a connection there with England based and the local players, or our players who are represented overseas. So I really do think in this modern day and age, Jamaica football has really stepped up from from certain period. And yeah, I really think the chemistry and everything, I just want these guys to build a connection. I hope, well, it's very unfortunate that we have this short time to prepare, but I hope these guys build a connection, to go on the pitch tomorrow and say, hey, represent this one badge, this one country, one nation, So yeah, that's all I have to say on this, guys.
Yeah, makes sense, 110%. And it's something to look forward to as well, because with the Gold Cup in July, that's 3 games right there in the group stage. We get to the semi-finals, that's 5 games. We get to the final, that's 6 games. So that's ample opportunity to really, be able to get fire out the kinks and ensure that we can be able to get a good dress rehearsal ahead of the qualifiers. So I'm happy that we have this opportunity to be able to come up against a team in our region and we don't often get that opportunity in a friendly match. So it's exciting, really.
Yes.
Guys, in the past, when you ask anyone on the street, which international team they support, you always hear the likes of France, Argentina, and Brazil. No, you're asking persons and they're saying Jamaica. And it shows how far we have come. I'd have said it to Owen God, Each player who represented the national team over the last few years would have created a path, would have created, a path that shows that we are growing. The players are quality. The players want different experience and exposure. They want to travel. They want to learn different cultures. And we're seeing that from our players, and it is crucial. And I would recommend any young player now that wants to play football to continue to believe in their dreams, and even our players who are suffering at the national Premier League level, not being on the physical presence on the pitch. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. When you look at these players, who are making transition, we're seeing it more frequently. We're seeing persons reaching out to us saying, hey, we need you to send a Jamaican player over here for trials. We are seeing growth. And this growth that we are seeing, guys, it all comes down to the players who would have represented in the past. And I believe the players now who have taken on this race or taken on the responsibility is doing it well. So it's all about being prepared, being competitive, and the holistic development of our players is crucial. And I want to commend our players, the players especially who played in the game against Saudi Arabia. That took a lot out of you, the limited time to prepare, and to go there and perform and get a result, And we are looking at the era, guys, where we're seeing our players gradually growing, our football growing, at least the percentage is growing. A lot of persons, you have persons who might not be seeing it, but you have to look at the holistic part of things where you want to look on what the transition players are making, the interest that scouts are coming, wanting to have trials and recommending that we send Jamaican players. And I want to commend our national players who are doing extremely well.
Well said, well said. I think yes, I'd like to add to that, as we've been interviewing these players, over the past months, we've all seen the trend where they're paving the way for the younger players for real. Because we'd see the likes of McGee, Campbell, Walker, everybody, getting the chance to go overseas and even at the top flight leagues, and to show that, hey, I'm a young player, I can make it too, It doesn't end at the high school level anymore. It doesn't end at the Premier League anymore. We have players who are going over and beyond and paving the way for our young players. So I think the future for Jamaica football is bright. It is bright as sunshine, Any comments on that, Simon? Our young players, who are getting their way into the top flight football.
Yeah, it is bright, certainly in that perspective of these young players being able to get opportunities to ply their trade overseas, whether that be Eastern Europe, whether that be in Scotland or different parts of the globe, really, North American region. So it is bright from that perspective, and it is great to see that sort of conveyor belt of talents being able to get that opportunity on the overseas market. There's a demand for Jamaican players on every continent of the globe. We're one of the few places in CONCACAF where we have at least one football on every continent of the globe except Antarctica. So that is outstanding. As it relates to the national team, it will all come down to ensure that there's a proper tandem between administrators, the coaching staff and players. And, we can be smiling at the end of the day in terms of the end product that we all want, which would be to see the team back at the World Cup.
Yes, well said, Simon. Coach Okevie, I'll ask you, does it look like Miss Alexis Nunez is coming onto the live?
No, guys, I did share something earlier when you dropped out. She's not going to be able to join us, but we plan to be back here tomorrow for a review of the game. So she will be able to join us then.
All right, well done. I think this sums up everything about the build up to the game, guys. We thank you, Simon. You've been a patron in the Reggae Boyz. I've seen you travel with a team. Countless of times. We've seen your passion on YouTube all over. Whether the wins, the draws, the losses. And we thank you very much for coming onto our platform and shedding your experience and light on this matchup. We thank you very much.
Appreciate it for having me, man. Thanks very much. Anytime, and keep up the good work that you guys have been doing. It's a great platform and certainly something that we need because especially in the times that we're living in as well, people want to know the latest on everything, and it's just a few clicks away. So keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Coach Okevie Lambert.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pleasure to be talking with Simon Preston. I was really looking to have both Simon and Alexis units tonight, but hopefully tomorrow we'll have both back with us as we review tomorrow's action with the Reggae Boyz versus the US. And I am very optimistic that what we will be reviewing tomorrow, will be a good cause in terms of the results and the performances of our boys. And we'll continue to say we're really proud of them, and it's fantastic, our platform here is to shed light on our Reggae Boyz and what they have been achieving over there. As I said, the percentage is growing. We're going out there and marketing ourselves, and we're doing extremely well. And I want to commend the players and also Coach Theodore Wilmore and his technical team. We're one Jamaica, and we're supportive of everything that these players and coaches put out there to perform. And it's just for us now to sit and wait for tomorrow.
Well said.
Simon,
yes.
Simon, I'm wondering if you had your champagnes, because I saw Alexis. She showed me, she had a thing with a lot of champagne, so I expect she'll be drinking champagne tomorrow while watching Reggae Boyz. She's a big fan, and I know it hurts her not to be here tonight, but hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah, it's on ice, so if Andre Gregg puts two in the back of the net, yeah, it'll be pulled out.
Yes, I think we all will be on edge of celebrating,
Yeah.
But yes, guys, thank you all for watching. This is Football in 90, where we shed light on our local football and our football players, coaches, and analysts everywhere. So we thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with Simon, Alexis, and Coach Okevie Lambert. I'm your host, Javon, and we thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Take care.